y'all. Welcome to the live. I did not even get a chance to fully finish what I wanted to do or what I needed to do. And I was basically guided to say it wasn't about what I wanted to do, because even though it's a necessity, because I enjoy doing my self-care. However, this is what I was told to do before the end of business day for most of the places. And with it being Monday, Moon Day, people, the matters of the mind, um, I was told to come as you are, saith the Creator, the Most High, or the Divine, however you choose to speak on it. And with this conquer and divide of the situation, which there's awareness of adjudication, meaning courts of law, people of justice, people of figures of pillars that are meant to be held to a very high standard that has failed a lot of people. There has been a major course of misguidance and misrepresentation of people to be able to understand what it is that is going on thus far of where we are as in humans, in humanity, and on earth, where men, pure mortal, feels that they have power, control, systematic abuse of those that they can place in a box to go ahead to take away what it is of free will, of what the will is, shall be, and will be done. And whatever it is on this situation of the course of action that people have chose to utilize, which is saying, I will, no weapon formed against thou shall prosper, meaning all needs that have caused people to bow or surrender by course of man-made situations of mortal utilizing, abusing power, finances, and systems to go ahead to utilize that as a control to place people in a box and not allowing you to think outside of the box of a course of action to utilize of, as you call it, Truman shows, whatever. But however, once I can create where it is how you have to think about the mentality, whether it goes across those things, is where the Most High is not happy of how people have abused the religion of worship, of being the universal laws, karmic laws, and divinity laws of what it is that he created of feminine, masculine energy, of what we are called as of man and as woman, as he has created us naturally to be. Come as you are. The failure of that is creating a misconception of forcing people to believe of what something that they are not. And it's not to take away from those who want to be that way. That's a want. It's not a necessity. That's why they call it an abomination. Man-made power of creation of utilizing money, power, and manipulation, which is impeding on free will of those who have destined things, fated things, regardless of which way that they choose to do it. A lot of people were meeting unfortunate situations, but however, it wasn't unfortunate because it was needed. And this is going to be for those who love to use the biblical aspect. So it's right now I'm talking to ministers, preachers, evangelists, prophetess, prophets, whatever, priests, priestlyyhoods, whatever the case may be. Because that's usually where, even in judicial systems, they tend to take part, to take favor, or abusing religion. Oh, we're Christian, and this has been going on since a very long time, regardless of what it is, across the board. And especially if America, United States of America, wants order to reestablish that power, because we are facing in an unfortunate time within less than the next 6 months. For somebody, we have literally, maybe give or take, maybe 4 to 5 months, possibly to a year, that America will not ever be seen the same. Now, where someone wanted to abuse a situation to say, hey, this person's insane, is not factual. before you choose to speak, before you choose to try to harass, before you choose to try to throw minor insults that are not useful for those who are actually in their destined aspect, regardless of what you choose to do, to try to do destiny swap, voodoo, hoodoo. I mean, it's no longer spirituality if you feel like that you're abusing it, because it's no longer a factor. It's not going to be useful. It's not going to be, oh, we're all in alignment. It's not, none of that. It's no longer abuse of chakras. It's no longer abuse of frequency, energy, auric energy, radiation, energy weaponizations. Those things are not going to be useful for those who you are fully aware of that is not useful for. For those who are still utilizing that, we can use police, sheriff, psychology, mythology, those things of those sorts to still abuse those things. I'm here to tell you, anyone that further use this course after today, after I deliver this message, you will face a demise that you are not prepared for. This is even going as far as military people, judge people, lawyers, sheriff, police departments, of any of sorts that's looking to create a disruption when it comes to a spiritual connection, which shall still be prosperous. However, it's just up to that person whether they do, because universal law is what it is. You are disrespecting universal law. No physical man or physical vessel or avatar is above universal law. Not even Bloomberg can do this. Not even Rothschild's methods can oversee that. And reason being, a lot of people, if you're still reading King James Version Bible, well, if we have to go back through it, and everybody loves to utilize anything before Christ's existence, we had Noah. Noah was meant to bring a man and a woman together. When the daughter Sarah ended up getting pregnant with those twins, she birthed 2 girls. He was told in his prophecy, and this is where was the downfall of man, which Noah and his wife were the downfall of Adam and Eve, reason being when Adam didn't understand why Lilith left the first wife. That was his second time of marriage, right? And in that situation, after he disobeyed the order of him, when he was already told the prophecy, and when the wife was like, it's wrong, it's ethically wrong, he was not wrong. He was meant to destroy one of those girls due to the simple fact, because it was twin girls. Ibiji. You have Noah in the ark. Then you have, if you go to the African spirituality, you have who? Oya and Shango, that had went down to deal with Oshun, the spiritual god of those two combined. He allowed his prowess to come down onto earth, and Yemiya and Oya had to take on the responsibility of the Ibiji, boy and girl. When that situation happened, that's when the practices of all African Americans, Africans of Africa, Africas of those who go to Haiti, whatever, diaspora, our power and control went away when you gave the power and control of no one learned to speak up. So for the longest time, for those who are still using Nigerian practice, Benin practices, those are still using shells, stones, or whatever, and you're still working against your own people, you have failed miserably. We have failed to realize what is reincarnation of those who came back to restore the order of our power. And you have failed miserably. You could be a twin of Ibiji. Some of you don't even know that you are an Ibiji. Especially if you are of the diaspora. Diaspora is those from Portuguese, Brazil, French, Africa, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Trinidad, any Caribbean island of where anything of the transatlantic occurred. Where was our breakdown, where our own people sold us out. Where there are now still currently camps of those who have my capabilities, and they harvest them. Oh, we put them in camps to go through training. No, they put them through those camps to control the aspect of them waiting to get up from what that is that they are destined to freaking do. So meaning when you are of do whatever you wanted to call it, you are taking away the capabilities of the energetic aspect for you to take away, to wipe away your memory, your soul, and anything that you own. You can own the biggest company today. By tomorrow, it will be gone. Any judge, lawyer, sheriff, or anybody that feels like you're going to keep using it and abusing it, you will fail misery. By Tuesday morning, my prophecy, as I'm going to fulfill as I was told, because I was not prepared to be on this motherfucking camera. This is not something that I would wish to do for the rest of my life at all. Not on fucking social media. Because I knew my calling was not to have to keep doing this, to keep doing this, to keep doing this, to remind people what the fuck you supposed to do. White people, you gonna fail your own motherfucking people. And the demise of that shit, if you can't respect the fact that it on a religion aspect, let me break it down to you. Noah was meant to kill those twins. You know why a lot of people do not respect, certain religions don't respect the Bible or what it is that we do in America? Because the truth of the matter, and even though ethically, morally, spiritually, religiously, that these people, they struggle with the fact of, if everything is supposed to be good and evil, everyone is looking at the fact, well, why would the angels want to kill some people that are meant to be angels? Because sometimes they didn't obey the obedience of not procreating with certain things because the energy of what it could create, and it wasn't about the curiosity of anything. Anybody pay attention when they made every movie that they made since the black and white screens up to current about Noah and the ark? Did not Noah turn into an alcoholic after he realized that he saved his son's wife? Noah turned into an alcoholic. Every movie you watch, even when you try to get the stories done, Noah turned into an alcoholic. He got distant from his wife. And due to the simple fact, he failed himself and he drowned himself in the spirits, because he was sitting there going back and forth with the spirits. And where do they say it was? Hallucination, psychosis, whatever. Whether you look on a metaphysical, esoteric, occult knowledge, anybody that's a true fucking occultist know exactly what the fuck I mean. And if you call yourself I'm a priest, so I can do this, then you should know exactly what the fuck I mean, because ain't shit crazy about it. Noah turned into an alcoholic, which he was supposed to get his soul and his spirit clean. Most of these people that call themselves a minister or a pastor, bitch, you do not have rank when it comes to me. I don't give a fuck if I don't physically have it. On a spiritual aspect, respect it. I humbled myself to play nice with a lot of you fuckers, because when I get ready to start utilizing the Greek aspect of what is supposed to be told, you're going to sit there and be like, oh, it's an insult. It's not an insult. When his order was told from divine order that when she became pregnant with those twins, one of them had to die because it was going to create imbalance. They created a disillusion for Oshun when she gave birth to man and woman, Ibiji, right? But she got distorted and pushed away because guess what? What was the thing that everybody used, whether on any African practice or any voodoo? It doesn't matter how much time that you do this. Royalty blood is royalty blood. I'm going to bind them by their feet and ask them what size shoes they wear. I don't give a fuck how fucking dark you feel like you're going to do some shit. The shit failed when you went on ahead and did it. Because every time you're trying to come over here, does it work? Does it work? Does it work? No, the only thing that it worked was amplifying what more information that I can go ahead and break down your systematic injustices that you feel that you're going to go ahead and carry on through. Okay? And when you feel like that you're carrying on whatever it is with all the stuff that you're trying to do with this classical iniquity, because it's an iniquity of your transgressions of where you failed. Now, when the creator say that you were an abomination, it didn't mean that you were bad or evil. It just means that you were not part of the divinity. It's too many fucking people, and I'm sorry, and I'm not sorry at the same time because it's fact. If you call yourself engaging in any type of homosexuality, bisexuality, lesbianism, there is still a land for you, but you're just not part of the milk and honey. Meaning you are still deserving of being treated with respect of whatever it is that you choose to do with your life or choice, but you are not ever going to be part of that number. You're not ever going to be considered a divine. You can be a masculine or a feminine, but you will not ever be divine. Ever. Ever. But you were still meant to be respected of who you choose to be. AKA, you are the seeds of Adam and Eve. So when you go on to go ahead and say, I'm going to do this prayer and this like that, okay, cool. By all means, be my guest. But when we're going to start talking about the facts of what it is and how they've been systematically using you all by Hippolytes, because a lot of you are falling under the Hippolyte of certain aspects. They've been using Greek mythology of you. Cotopus, Clitopus, Calipus, anthropology, anatomy. And when they can go ahead and utilize that, and those who are now serving under the Lady of Justice are Lustia, Justia, goddess of Themis. How dare you abuse your authority and you still have no integrity to respect what it is that you sworn in to do? How is it? Atticus was an emperor. And his empress, who he respected, right? And you using Roman pantheons to create a AKA metric system that in realization honestly doesn't even fucking exist. It doesn't. Because like I said, if you can verbalize and structuralize yourself, military jargon or judicial jargon, just leak the situation. Somebody's like, she's leaking the shit. How are we going to do this? Well, you keep invading in someone's energetic field. You're now creating for me to go ahead and see things that even though it's in plain sight, and those who choosing not wanting to do what it is, I don't care about you put it on your obsidian. I don't care about you put it on black onyx, using moldavite, using amethyst. You can wear your tiger bracelets all day long. That's still not going to rank what it is that the divine creator, most high, higher power that we all supposed to serve means anything. There's a location right now that I can tell you right now. It's a lot of people that are calling themselves psychiatrists, psychologists, that if I put the location and name of this school where you went to go get your practice, which does not make you qualified to be a therapist or psychiatrist or a psychologist, if I drop the location of where their school is, and one of them are here in the United States of America, there's a lot of people working for the Veterans Affairs that call themselves psychiatrists and psychologists, and they ain't went through the school. They didn't go through the 10-year, whatever it is. They didn't go study and do undergrads. They didn't do none of this shit. A lot of them did a 10-month self-paced course. And systematically, some of you have been sitting here talking about, yeah, my therapist, your therapist only went and did a self-paced course of what they did, where they did spirituality. They looked into Greek or Roman mythology, some of them Latin mythology. Some of them like, oh, I'm going to go to Rome, I'm going to go to Greece, I'm going to go to Spain. I'm going to go to Africa, I'm going to go to Mecca, I'm going to go to Ibiza, I'm going to go to the Vatican. Some of these motherfuckers, if you ask them straight up, and if you went to the actual like cathedrals and asked them, did they speak to some of these people, they're going to be like, no. That's why I could tell for a bigger factor of a lot of these people who still trying to do these practices, and especially if it's an African and you doing work on people that you know come of your bloodline, they cursing themselves. So it's like, Why am I getting jaundice? Why am my liver failing? Why am my kidney failing? Why is this happening? I don't know. You keep doing some shit that you know for a fact you had no business doing in the first place to people that you already know that you feel you're cursing. You didn't curse anybody. You just had them sleep for a little bit, a little hypnosis, something that y'all been carrying out since 2019 and 2023, and now currently that you hope to go on all the way for the next to what, 2030 something, 2029, that you have access to go ahead and do what it is. This is somebody that also felt like, oh well, I'm gonna do this to you. I'm gonna sacrifice your children. Okay, good riddance. I'm gonna still create this. Oh, they're delusional. We're gonna send emails and do this stuff like that. By all means, be my guest. But most of you are using was clapless virtuous. If I'm not saying it correctly, but then it was like the Vasquez, Paisis, things type like that. Those forms of things is what they will use in the judicial system to honor the fact of taking the word of people of the pillar versus taking the word of the person who is actually going through things. You ever notice that even when you in court and certain things like that, and instead of you being able to speak up and say, hey, your honor, no, can you look at the situation like this? You ever really thought about that? Like, why when you in court, you always got to be the one to be quiet and not to say anything? Because anything you do or say will be held against you in the court of law, right? But you know that in this case, right, depending on what lawyers they are, what firms they come from, what judge you have, right, there's a ethos and there's a code that they follow within that system, which is already putting the odds against you, which is the reason being why they choose for you to not try to, you know, use yourself. Somebody could be definitely a fraternity or sorority, right? And they're very much so tempted to want to bring something to light of where they have been using right now Roman and Greek methods on a lot of people in the court system. Now, a lot of people are not truly fully well versed in it, but mass majority of them, if they're a judge or a lawyer, you just have to look at who are the counterparts, who are these people that they're doing these things with. Because first of all, I wouldn't want to sit there and have a judge sitting there ruling or running my case, and the two judges in or the prosecutor in that case, if I could figure out, oh, you were a part of the little sorority, oh, you're a part of that one, oh, you're a Mason, right? And if I can go dig a little bit deeper, was your family a veteran? Was yours this? And they're still connected. Just know at that same time, whatever case that you have, consider it lost. It's just going to be figuring out who can gain the most financial gain in that situation. Whoever the clients are in that situation, the odds is already against you. That's why they try to choose, like, don't go to trial. Don't go to trial. You have a right to a speedy trial. Correct? Correct. And when you have that right to it, most of the time when they know that they're doing something illegal towards you, okay, this is how you know right now over the last 10 years that a lot of these people are not honoring the fact that you're supposed to be working under the goddess or the empress of Lady Justice, and you're doing injustices when it comes to even just upholding the basic ethos of that goddess, right? So anyone that's still utilizing mythology, Roman or Greek, let alone Latin mythology, you have created a dishonor. And with that dishonor of you not doing what you're supposed to do, that means that you're not even honoring the true factor of what it is that you pledged to, for one. Two, did you not swear yourself into? Yeah. Three, with you swearing into that, that means I'm swearing to Lady Justice, aka your God, and you disobeyed it. And with that disobedience that you choosing to do, and you're choosing to use that against someone that you know, whether you've been stealing HIPAA violations to Lady Justice, right? I'm lying in the court of law, knowing that my bailiff, my clerks, the sheriff, the people of pillar, I know that they're lying. And I'm going to present this lie as an offering to Lady Justice. Lady Justice knows that it's a lie. So what should be the punishment of those who keep you take this oath? Do you honor to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Which God are we speaking about? Which God are we fucking speaking about? I'm looking to understand, because guess what? It's already, if a lot of people, I can literally open up a full fucking lawsuit, and a lot of lawyers would be ready to jump on that shit. You want to know why? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God? But if I'm a Muslim, that fucking Bible don't mean shit. If I'm a Hebrew, that Bible don't mean shit. I don't honor the God that you do, because guess what? Legally, off of legal terms, if I'm a Muslim, I have the right to then, before I touch that Bible and before we start that court proceeding, Your Honor, what is your religion? Prosecutor, what is your religion? Hey, the one representing me, what's your religion? If that motherfucker haul off and tell me, oh, I actually honor the Quran. Oh, okay. Your Honor, do you honor the Quran? If that judge or that prosecutor do not honor that fucking Quran, do you not know that case has to be dismissed? Or any person that's willing to go ahead and run that fucking case, you are already at a disadvantage? Facts. Most laws carry it on to this point because the 1965 Civil Rights Act was meant to protect all parties. And if anybody know in America that the court system was not even honoring what a black person was, a dog got more authorization or recognition before a person of color ever did before 1965. Correct? Correct. 1932, anybody of Hispanic, Latin, or actually other Latin countries wasn't even considered or recognized in fucking America unless you were Mexican or a Native American, right? So 1932 laws were basically set up at that time for Mexicans and Native Americans. Reason being why they had so strong and so strictly went hard about marijuana laws is because they had got that feeling in the England, because the white men's thought and perception, because they started noticing they was roaming and getting these mistresses, and they was sleeping with their secretaries and their clerks and shit like that at the offices, whether they were lawyers, judges, and bankers and shit like that. They sleeping with the young mistresses, but they wasn't getting held accountable for none of the assaults, abuses, and shit that they'll get off on. Oh, you only spend 10 days in jail, Joey. You only spend 20 days in here, Christopher, and shit like that, right? But 1932, when marijuana came about, it was more or less teaching people, because they were coming over before they would start bringing the cocaine and all the opium, before the Asians and Japanese people were coming, which also means their practices was not honoring the court of law. So meaning all people that you could have always did any type of court case, meaning if I really had to go into it, like I said, the blessing is I'm not a Federal Bureau investigator. I'm not a Central Intelligence agent. I'm not part of the Secret Service. Just a simple combat U.S. Army veteran that just tend to go ahead and read what the fuck it is. But an injustice is an injustice, right? But the injustice of it is, if that person went to prison or in that penitentiary and he converted to a Muslim and you presented him with a Bible, so help you God, even if you sit there and make them sworn on a fucking Quran, it's still an injustice, because that bailiff, that sheriff, the arresting officer, the judge, the prosecutor, and all involved, they don't share the same religious practice. So they are already at a social religious bias situation. Meaning it's very uneducated and unethical to go ahead to persecute, ridicule, and accuse someone of a different religion or a spiritual practice, right or wrong. So considering that I choose to say that, hey, I am just a being, it's a spiritual thing. So most of the people of the pillar, aka most people in America want to be so-called Christians, But they failed fucking miserably at that, right? You must be spiritual before you go ahead and hit the religious, right? What is the Holy Ghost? A spirit, right? So you mean to tell me, so help me God, what God are we speaking of? You have a right to say that before the case go on, which will prolong it. Because I have a right regardless. Whoever the judge is must be unbiased. 10 times out of 10, you're supposed to be technically non-religious if you're a judge. Oh, this one went to this prestigious university of Yale, of Princeton. Who gives two fuck shits about that? What is your spiritual practice? Do you go to Sunday every day with the same person who come to you to ask you to do a court case on somebody that they're falsely accusing of, that none of you fuckers have come to go talk to? So who's those people coming in? Who's those people signing those papers? Well, it looks like we got fraud, identity theft, forged signature, forensics, false forensics at that. Abuse of a system? Okay, let's carry on. Let's go ahead. Let's continue on this motherfucking judge though. This judge also, they're being biased at this point because there's no unbiased, because they're not looking at the situation on both perspective or in a non-judgmental aspect, right? Because they looking at black and white. I'm just looking at the fucking paper, what was put on the paper. I'm not looking at the paper, I'm not looking at the person, and I'm not looking at the history. It works in threes, right? As the unbiased judge, not recognizing I just live by Christianity. Well, the Bible says this, but that person lived by the Quran. Have you studied the Quran before this person hit your stand, Your Honor? Have you studied the Quran before this person or that plaintiff or the person being accused? Did you read the Quran? And if the answer is no, there's a lot of people in prison right now that shouldn't be in there. Your Honor, that person is spiritual. They have a spiritual practice. Well, Your Honor, did you go ahead and read about spirituality, esoteric, or occult knowledge? If the answer is no, the judge must be recused from the fucking case. Case in point. Case dismissed. Court is adjourned. And before I adjourn this case, I'm requesting a countersuit be put in place of the plaintiff, the person who's being accused, that everything that was stolen from the person who got falsely accused because I, as the judge, misinformed about what it is that my judges and the complainter or the correspondent person brought to me was based off of false knowledge. I was not versed or equipped to take on the knowledge or the aspect of what it is that I systematically have to use or utilize against this person. But not to mention that we have already overly sexualized, illegally surveillance, illegally took full advantage of someone because we wanted power of their intuitive practice to keep them waiting around because we felt that they had no knowledge and wanted to sacrifice them to a way of living to create patience of obstacles and challenges to stop them from their fucking new beginning that will put them in authority to have a material harvest of victory and fucking success because you were on bullshit of being discontent and bored, wanted to utilize systematic practice of mythologies. And what does that look like right there? Anybody that knows that is a judge of secret societies, of any organizations, whether you're a Mason, Shriner, sorority, whatever, fraternity, you know what the fuck that is. So what is tarot? A lot of you used to use that for a long time ago before then. But your dark side, exorcism, not even an exorcist, but why would you need to do that? Am I Catholic? So you wanted to keep causing mental conflict because what? I'm not stuck in my head about what it is. The light is the light. But conflict and fear and defeat that they're going to be going to prison, it doesn't work like that. I'm basically a prisoner in my own house. I have to be by myself. I'm always having to do this on my own, but shit, it is what it is. Accelerated movement, we're going to keep them from knowing that their body is capable of regeneration and all this other things, and we're going to make them feel like they're destiny swapped, that they're unhopeful, that they're suffering, that they're in the lion's den, that fulfillment and wishes is not for them, that their passion, they shouldn't. How dare you be passionate? How dare you have hope for something to work out for you? How dare you? How dare you have a dream? Universal, we're going to block your finances and do this, but you're still balanced, but it requires that person to be emotionally withdrawn for harmony, heartfelt things, spiritual union, financial, not being able to see, rejoice, and have fun with people. But what are you doing? Create a spiritual strength. Well, we want a partnership and ally with you, but it's like move on. Moving forward. In the court of law, grateful for you I ain't put on a suit because I was damn near close to put on a fucking suit. Whether we're going to do it spiritually, physically, mortally, however the fuck it's going to be. Failure to serve justice and do the system correctly. You guys have failed miserable fucking belief. I'm going to stop. No. Because what you will stop is in creating a disruption about what it is. You're abusing sheriffs and police systems. You wanted them to create a disruption because whoever this older white man with this blonde hair, because you got secrets, because you want to be trapped in the closet, because you want to be a cross-dresser, sir, that ain't got shit to do with me. That don't give you a fucking right to sit there to keep making injustices, stopping somebody's money, hacking somebody's system when clearly I can see who you're utilizing. They're not, apparently I must be. And whatever it is that I'm doing effectively and efficiently and accurately and too precise for your comfort, it's now insulting the fact of the lies that you've been doing and creating for the last 11 years. But you're a fair person. You're looking for every reason to justify the bullshit that you tweet on Twitter. How the fuck is that shit? If anything, a real fucking president will make sure that anybody that's in his fucking position, if they don't just see you on regular television, what the fuck you doing on social media? You have lowered your standard, your quality or worth to even be a House representative, a commissioner, a senator, a mayor. You have lowered your fucking standard. I don't want a fucking mayor or a governor or a senator or a sheriff person to make their presence known on fucking social media. You're going to be known for your true leadership. A leader going to get that recognition regardless. Shit, when they put you on that shit, that's how you know you did something. That's how you know the people got you, because guess what? I wouldn't have to make a fucking presence. But some people have to make it be known because it's like, oh, we want to create this illusion. You don't see what you're seeing. Bitch, you see me and I see you. Regardless of what it is, because you're planning to put me in ICU, what's the way to go? We gotta make them forget their memory. How dare you? But you're a Christian though. You worship, you go to the mosque, you go over here to your temple, you go do this, and this is how you justify it? That's called greed. That's called gluttony. You're participating in the 7 deadly sins of life as a mortal. And you want somebody to respect, I'm the judge, I went to school, I've been practicing this for 21 years. Shit, a bitch could suck dick for 21 years and still not do shit. So make the point valid of whatever it is that you're doing in your situation. How are you actually utilizing what it is that you're doing? You want to keep creating heartache and loss after loss after loss. So I'm going to kill you spiritually, then I'm going to kill you physically. And after I can make you feel spiritually dead, then we can go ahead and do that. But you're still using mythology. I want you to feel like everything is okay. I want you to feel like that this is what's happening. But y'all can't tell the truth. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth? And apparently our own judges and lawyers and people that we have in position solemnly do not swear to tell no type of truth. Even if their God is not even fucking helping them. How dare you abuse the system towards people? How dare you present something and the person is not there? You got to get every fucking everybody else to go ahead, but you mean to tell me as a judge you don't know who the real person is? Can the real Rita Darshell stand up? Oh my bad. We got this person to play mentally incompetent. We got this person to go ahead and take this money. And then off of this one, we can still utilize this person in this situation to go ahead and keep opening up this account. I'm going to sign off on it. I'm going to call my buddy Scott because, you know what I'm saying, these are my Democrat friends and they help us go ahead and do this. But my Republican friends, you know, they ain't really with that shit, but they going to turn their head. If I go ahead and front them a little bit of money for their campaign because, you know, they want to run for, you know, senator. They want to run for the commissioner. They want to run for the Senate position. So if I go ahead and you scratch my back, I scratch yours type situation. And if you can go ahead and utilize that, you know what I'm saying? These, you know, the regular people, those regular humans, they're not used to us utilizing mythology on them. So regardless, you know, we can still get about $50,000 off of them on this case when they really can just read the little small print. But, you know, they're not going to look into the fact to read the Latin or the Greek or, you know, the Roman terms of this thing for the court case. And we can put in and add in some extra little mumbo jumbo, aka put them under a gag order or a non-disclosure advisory, right? We can go ahead and have them sign this type of contract so we can just give them exactly what type of money we feel we should give them, right? Yeah, we can actually like gaslight them a little bit and we can play the passive aggressive. Like if you do this, we do that. We can use the bait and switch. We're going to use Robert Greene's fucking pedophile having ass methodology to go ahead and manipulate the system of him being a Rothschild descendant of this situation. And we can know what it is of human nature of what it is that how people do that and utilize those things. They're not going to know that our childography ring is existing. They're still not going to know that we're tied to the black market. And we have friends on the other side from Korea and Japan and Singapore. And then we're going to use the other people from India that we know that's also with this. And, you know, they're part of our crew. They're part of our network. So when we get ready to have our people from Germany, and, you know, most of the times those be, you know, people retired from the Gulf War, Korean War, Vietnam War, anybody from the Gulf era type time, which part of Bosnia, you know, wars and things like that. The people that participated in the Panama Canal, you know, we have our ties because we had our dues of what we had to do, you know what I'm saying, when we had our soju girls, when we used to do our susu things, you know what I'm saying, when we used to bring it around full force. So when our hackers of what we utilize, they won't realize or understand the algorithm or the systematic structure of how the internet is going to work to allow me to know who are we using to manipulate them now. Oh yeah, she's not going to know that the aunt and those three cousins and those adult people, like these are people literally 25 to 78 years old right now that's combined working together to go ahead to do this. They're not going to know that it's their fellow cohorts from when they were at Fort Jackson. They're not going to know that these were fellow people from Fort Lee. They're not going to fellowly know that these were certain people from Fort Campbell, 10th Mountain, Fort Bragg, Fort Hood. They're not going to know that this was from people from, you know, the Paris island of San Diego Marines, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to know. They're not going to know that these were counterparts from people, you know, over there at Biloxi, Mississippi. They're not going to know that these are certain people from Fort Bliss or Fort Huachuca. They're not going to know that, you know, on the other side of the medical thing of the EF&P program, that even though it was connected via, you know, home health care, Scottsdale, Arizona, they're not going to know. They're not going to know. Ain't no way they're going to know that Bright Star and the Nigerian respite program that was utilized for them, they're not going to know. They're not going to know that the, you know, Philip that was part of the Navy Corps, you know, with the affiliation to Illinois and Michigan, they're not going to know that in Nevada he created this trust for her. She's not going to know. She wasn't going to figure out about the birth certificate and shot records and things like that. She's not going to know. She's not going to know that she came from this, so we can still utilize to go ahead and do this. Just like last little buddy, he wouldn't have the connect if it wasn't for him connecting with me to be able to connect with these other motherfuckers to do what it is that he's been doing. Well, now it's slowing down because it's like, oh, well, you don't deal with them no more. We don't have a use for you anymore. Oh, you can't control her anymore, so we have no use for you anymore, right? There's a lot of fucking things going just like that. Universal alignment, though. You could have sacrificed her. You could have made her, you know, stay into the community and the lifestyle and the way of living. It wasn't going to ever be like that because I have a higher faith. So we're going to slow her down to feel like she doesn't have a positive movement forward. But however, we know that we're not capable of touching this and this. And because if we do touch this, then we're validating her point. You're still validating my point, regardless of what the fuck it is that you feel you're doing or getting away with. Anyone knows logically in any aspect or situation, phone-wise, address-wise, you receive letters, not phone calls. Why would T-Mobile people still be calling? Those are the motherfuckers from Singapore. Those gonna be the motherfuckers from the Philippines. Those gonna be the motherfuckers from Okinawa. Okay. And most of the time, it'd be the outskirts or the cities within like a 2 mile or 2 train rides from Okinawa, Japan. Konnichiwa. Hello. Ni hao. Somebody born in 78, 76, 77, 88, 87. It's a man stressing in mental conflict. Somebody born in 82, 84, 86. Bunch of men in here in conflict. 81. Female born in 81 in mental conflict. How the fuck do you remember all this shit and know that we doing this shit and we was involved in it? The same way that they utilized Vicky from right up here in Preserve Leaf apartment, she was stupid enough to keep responding. She would have been smart enough to allow other people in that office to respond. Right? Because who knew that the person meant to unalive you was the person you're supposed to be with? But hey, it just didn't work out. It's okay. You let it go. You move forward, right? But the only thing that you asked for was, give me my money. But now it's people that you keep presenting the name to. It's going to be victory and success. The universe is going to align a lot of fucking things in the right place at the right time for the right vibe. For me to just go ahead and let y'all know that at the same time where you sitting here doing something, that little bit of information was just enough for you to realize, like, damn, the accuracy and the precision of that situation is, we fucked up. Y'all know you did. Y'all know that you created this illusion where I'm still supposed to believe what you're trying to throw into my face. Tuesday, you say? The dangerous games we play. Oh, well, you're not. Anyways, I'll be back for the show here shortly. But then you expect for somebody to be emotional. I do not care for those people, nor their existence. But universal law, hoping to shut down someone's third eye chakra, their heart, and hope to just stay in a lifestyle, like, y'all weird. And call me weird? Nah. If I know what the Most High created and he needed order to be restored, and that was what was required of me to do, so be it. I'd rather stand alone, be on my own, than be worried about dysfunction of people trying to figure out what's right, what's wrong. Listen, you should already know what's right and what's wrong. And what's wrong is that y'all wanted to create a Job season. Okay, Job lost it all and got that shit right back. And he got that shit more abundantly than what he did before because he remained obedient. I'm remaining obedient to what the Creator and the Most High said is for me. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. He shall go ahead and prepare a table for me in the presence of my enemies. And I got a whole lot of you motherfuckers. Jealousy and envy. That's a sad look for any man, especially if you're a man, you even be a woman. If anything, you should have been cherishing that woman to make sure that you uplift her to the highest point. And especially if you're part of the Lady Justice, you're meant to go ahead and uplift her. And it's going to be fated regardless. Temptation. Because it's like, oh, I want her to feel like she's one of those girls from Four Colored Girls. Old girl had to go ahead and get, young at high school and get an unnecessary abortion. One got the R word done to her. The other one being in an abusive relationship and losing the kids and watching them die. And then the last one was for HIV, correct? You still live life. So regardless if that was a situation meant to occur for me, shit, I'm still going to live life. It just means that, hey, the world that I live in, they're not prepared for that. But however, like I said, a real man or a real woman in any situation, regardless if someone revealed to you that they have something and you're grown, hey, if you really inquiring about a person, you really love someone, you genuinely there for that person, you're going to go figure out with that person through whatever situation, how do we have an effective sex life, a healthy one. But also, shit, if you're content, just like I am, I do not care if I'm with someone or not. Lilith went on about her business when she realized that, hey, he ain't following the order. And now that y'all call it mental disorder because a person know how to be by themselves. They don't care to be bothered. They don't care for the isolation. I'll isolate myself before anything. Shit, I will fucking starve if I have to. But considering I starve on my own accord because I still struggle with the PTSD of eating fucking regular food. I have to remember that. Just going to a fucking restaurant and people paying people at restaurants to poison my food. So the enjoyment of that, who fucking cares? So regardless if you feel you want to keep dragging this out to the fall, the winter, whatever, but y'all knew that this was done last July, but you want to carry it on till July, choose wisely. Y'all might want to choose very, very wisely. Because if y'all choose to keep doing this and creating an obstacle, y'all will face an obstacle challenge. In the worst way. Because you not only attempted once, not twice, but over what? 19 years? For the last 19 years? Attempt on someone's life? The fact that you've been trying for 19 years to attempt on someone's life, whoever has been doing that, you're going to face life. You wanted someone to keep waiting and waiting when it comes to love, spiritual aspects, strength, and things like that. And you wanted someone to keep waiting. Someone's going to be in complete misery of however they try to make somebody else suffer. That's the same way you're going to suffer. Somebody going to suffer the same way that they've been making people or a person fucking suffer. In my experience, anybody that made me suffer, love, finance, stability, feeling secure in my own energy, in my own body, and the places where I live, it's your turn. And if you choose to prolong this, which you know you're supposed to have been, gave back what it was, you supposed to have did that money transfer, you were supposed to been deliver paperwork, for a lot of you, it's going to be a mass one, and that mass shit, I'm even getting somebody, if you're a judge or you're a lawyer or you're a sheriff, you will be embarrassed in front of every single peer you have. For somebody, they're going to be in the middle of trying to do a traffic stop, and you will be arrested in front of a lot of people in public. So the same way you publicly tweeting and thinking it's funny, somebody even going to be on the newsstand thinking that, oh, we passed this bill, you will be arrested right there on stage. The same way you publicly humiliate, it's the same way you will do this. Someone, if you prolong this shit, which something you were supposed to do last year in September, you supposed to do this June, you should have did it on the 3rd, you prolong it. You supposed to did it on the 4th, you prolong it. You supposed to did it on the 9th, you prolong it. You was hoping to prolong it to the 19th, it's going to come to the light. And when they get ready to do it, June 19th, they're going to do it again, July 5th, July 7th, July 14th, and again, July 19th. It's going to be one of those back to back to back where you was going to bag for motherfuckers that you should have just been like, look, I'm not doing all of that. I'm not taking this case. I'm not doing this. And the fact that you choosing not to, for those who are being bright and doing the right thing, I pray that I get to meet you and shake your hand so you can receive your actual dharma. Because a lot of you will still receive fucking karma because you did participate once upon a time before. Oh me, oh my, I woke up to realize that this was a fucking bold-faced lie, and I got bamboozled, I got tempted, I was stupid, I was bobo. Okay, that's fine, that's okay. As long as you take full fucking accountability and responsibility for what the fuck you did wrong, you shall be okay. But the wisdom of you holding back something and wanting to be loyal to somebody or something, to keep something away from someone, telling them their roots, telling them their family, keeping them away from money, keeping them away from inheritance, wanting them to create emotional, psychological loss, because whatever fucking loss that these people kept trying to create in your mind, thinking that I was supposed to care about, especially when it comes to relationship. Yes, I love love. I could be a lover girl, but then at the same time, I have enough fucking common sense. I'm not fit to go goo gaga over a fucking man. If a man want to be with another man, so be it. That's his fucking thing. That ain't got shit to do with me. If that man wanted to cheat and have more children, that shit has nothing to do with me. That is their character, their problem. That's a bill that they gotta cash, not fucking me. I'm not looking to stay with someone. I would rather go ahead and be upfront with whatever the fuck it is in any legal situation, including the divorce that I fucking asked for a long time ago. What do you want? I'm not looking for child support. I did not want fucking money. What are you choosing to do with the children? So I could put the children through fucking psychology, get their fucking shit together, and choosing that did not go just like that. Y'all kept believing a fucking lie, and somebody's fucking broke down, crackhead ass fucking mama that has stopped the crack for fucking 22 years, and now the bitch right back on it over the last 2 years. The motherfucker in the sun is on fucking heroin. And then y'all still listening to these people and helping these people. And especially when I already know, like, hey, the mentality, the psychology of white men and all fucking men alike. And y'all still took on the word of this person. And now it's sitting here like, okay, Mr. Berg, Are you choosing to go ahead and think appropriately? Are we thinking clearly yet? And if we're choosing not, you're looking to meet the same demise that these same fucking people got you involved with based off a fucking lie. That is not my prerogative. I've never been a person to be jealous or envious of the next person. I do not aspire to, especially I don't aspire, you would not ever see me. I will hype you up, but I'm not going to be your motherfucking best friend. There's right now, I can tell you, it's a few fucking transsexuals thinking that I want to be your fucking friend. I sure the fuck do not. Because the shit that you did and went on ahead and behaved, stayed on big business on what the fuck you did. Stealing content, acting like you doing this, going on Twitter, going on OnlyFans, doing all this stuff. And, oh, that's why I'm sleeping with her man. Da, 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 da. Okay, congratulations. You want a fucking cookie. Because the most thing that you could have said, just ask for the motherfucker and I'll give it to you. When you got a giving heart, ask and you shall receive. Knock and the door shall be open unto you. Faith of a fucking mustard seed. So jealousy and envy don't, they had a baby on you. So fucking what? It's not my problem. It requires me to give a shit about the person. If the person clearly shows you they don't give a shit, a benefit is a benefit, right? I still got food out of it. And it wasn't great, but hey, it still did what I needed to do. So carry on to the next behavior and the next factor. Oh, this person kept giving you a STD, congratulations. But at least I know where I was getting it from. Not from, oh, I'm sitting here spreading it to every fucking body else just to go ahead and to spite someone. That is the stupidest, dumbest thing to ever fucking do. Oh, someone gives you something and you're going to go give it around town? No, it does not fucking work like that. So whatever scenario or situation has been going on and no one has the authority, especially whoever the fuck the judge or the lawyer is that felt so fucking great to go ahead and compensate people for it. Because what's that? What is it? Herpes right now, right? So for whoever was getting compensated, why the fuck I didn't get compensated? Is that what it is? I'm just curious. I'm also curious about what are we doing about those nurses, doctors, and psychiatrists coming in about that fertility situation. Have we talked about that? I doubt it. I'm sorry. Have we talked about these people bringing in health records? Because there's only two people that would have had physical copies of those, Sheila and Veronica. I'm just curious, how does that work out? And why would we take words from somebody, especially if you know in the court of law, that, oh, y'all two are not friends and y'all not talking. And if she took that email and then took the thing I sent her via Facebook to you in that court case, don't that sound like that's somebody just being mad and being vengeful? I don't know if we're not thinking logical anymore. Because logically, if I was the court and I was the judge, is this you getting back at this person because your feelings are hurt? That's what it sounds like to me. So whatever evidence they're presenting at that point, that's admissible in court. But clearly it was useful for court. Clearly it was useful to go ahead and keep carrying on the mental manipulation, which is mental abuse. Carry on with the emotional abuse. Because what it was, I received the phone call on the meets yesterday, but I was asleep. To create what? Because if I'm making it very clear and valid, but you still should not even be carrying on the case if the person is not presented in the case. So whichever judge or judges that's been signing off on this shit, why they're not losing their practice, why they're not being removed from the bench. That's what I need to know. Or if you're the judge that took the case, why you haven't disbarred any of the lawyers that even brought the fucking paperwork to you in the first place. Second, if I was the IA and doing internal or DEA or whoever it is that you got to report to, I'm now asking, okay, if you not taking that, and did you take money for this? Why wasn't the person who was being accused not here in the courtroom? I'm just curious. I'm just curious. So why do I have this bullshit in front of me if the person is not here? Because it seems like in every court case, it seems like it's been somebody presented differently. I'm just curious. And whatever compensation every fucking lawyer took for whatever case that those were, for whoever these people were that were being given, and all those compensation given, I need you to go ahead and calculate every single fucking lawyer, whatever they got paid, whatever the prosecutor got paid, whoever and whatever got compensated. All of that needs to be calculated. Also add in whatever it is, for how long has this been going on? For some of these, from this situation, for me, the last 29 years. For another situation, what, James, that came on 2014, so 2014 to current, so that's 11 years with him and his folks. Who else? Oh, Carla and Shane, because, you know, with Patrick and Sheila, Johnny and them, that shit goes back about 29 to 34 years, so we can add that up. For any other person other than that, we got the last 23 years, 19 years, and considering I went into I got indebted with the Navy in 2008. So we can calculate that. I got out of active duty Army 2016, and I got my last order of them closing me out from the reserve 2018. Even though y'all put 2017, it was 2018. Okay? So let's do our calculations. Let's see, what was the search and the studies done from the Veterans Affairs from Denver, Colorado, all the way to San Juan, Puerto Rico, right back to Lake Baldwin and Lake Nona, Veterans Affairs. That goes all the way up into current. That's a whole lot of fucking money. For a personal injury, for emotional, psychological, physical, and financial abuse. And when we can come up with a well-being number, which I already said 9 billion just to be fair, because this has been going on for a long thing, and it's been a group effort and a affair of a lot of fucking people, and including a whole lot of motherfuckers from the military speaking in current. That's also part of the voc rehab, but actually no, I was using my chapter 33, my VA. So that would include schools that I went to, right? That also includes people that have collected funds from, what is it called? The SSVF, the VASH HUD, so home. That also includes Medicaid, you know what I'm saying? Because that's medical abuse, psychological, medical, reproduction health, all that good stuff, right? So whoever you are, get ready for that calculation. Because for somebody, you want to avoid real big public humiliation. I really feel like you do. You should. Because whatever I'm touching on is clearly surface level. Whatever the feds got, that's that shit that's going to make you sit there and shit on yourself all fucking day. So what they can get, because they actually got the eyes and boots on ground and the eyes in the sky and the motherfuckers in y'all motherfucking phones, watch my phone and go ahead and redirect that shit. Which I'm a 1,000,000,000% sure they're probably calculating that shit, sit back like, God damn, I ain't feel that they'll go this far. To include Bell's Partners, Inc. Incorporation. Right now where I stay in Preserve Leaf, little area, Melbourne, Florida. To include Melbourne's local police, including the restaurants that I was eating at as well, because that's food poisoning. That's food poisoning. which means I struggle to eat to this day. It don't make me bulimic. It don't make me none of that. It's just a struggle to fucking eat. Not to mention, you intentionally, by medical records, because y'all know that's medical malpractice, right? It's medical malpractice. Y'all been prolonging care that you know you're supposed to be taking care of. And the refusal to do so, y'all have refused. Because I've asked numerous of times, hey, can I get put on this? After doing my due diligence, and mind you, I hate fucking regular medicine. I would prefer to deal with it holistically, especially if it's useful. Cannabis was useful when I had to deal with all that extra shit. Because now I can actually build an effective eating habit. But considering the bullshit that y'all was doing and pulling, and it can be proven, ain't no other fucking way than to say that abuse is abuse. Abuse of authority, abuse of power. Because incompetence, that ain't it, clearly. Because if I can pull up the statutes and codes, and if you choose to pull, they don't know what they know. Are you sure? Because at that point, that's now a lawsuit for Google. And I'm 1,000,000,000% sure Google ain't fit to take the fucking hit about that type of shit. Because now that means all 50 fucking states, and they carry these laws that they scanning on their own fucking system. You mean to say anything people search on Google is fake? Carry on.